we were in the Bahamas with my family. We wanted to buy pot, and we've heard like, you know, we did the stereotypical thing of like, ask the jet ski rental guys.
Yeah,
you know, the black dudes with dreads.
Sure,
like maybe they have the pot. And he's like, you have to go 2 hotels down to the bar and ask for Tony Macaroni. And we're like, we're being pranked. But me and my brothers go, and we are like 20, 18, and like 14. And the three of us walk to this bar. And we go up, the bartender we see at this beach kind of bar, at this kind of shitty hotel where there's not a lot of people at the bar, he's got a bandana, an earring, a fake he's got a full pirate regalia on. And we go up to the bar and we're like, let's just get a drink and we'll sit around and then we'll ask who Tony Macaroni is. We order 3 beers off this guy. He has a tattoo that says Tony Macaroni on his arm. And I go, are you Tony Macaroni? He's like, yeah. I was like, we were told we can come to you to purchase some stuff. He's like, well, what kind of stuff are you looking for? We're like, stuff you could smoke. And he's like, great. Meet me in the men's room in 10 minutes and I'll sell it to you. And we sent my 14-year-old brother. We were like, dude, you got to go in there. It's like, you're the youngest guy.
Rite of passage.
In hindsight, we're like, what did we do to that poor kid? But at that time, we just sent him in. And Tony Macaroni had some swag ass weed, but we had a great fucking night in the Bahamas.
Welcome to Tank Top Talks with Matt Braunger. I'm your host, Matt Braunger. Here are some stand-up dates. Austin, Texas, August 20th and 22nd. Grand Rapids, Michigan, August 27th. Indianapolis, Indiana, September 10th to the 12th. Live special taping in Berkeley, California, September 18th. Raleigh, North Carolina, October 1st to the 3rd. Birmingham, Alabama, October 22nd to the 24th. Tank tops are ridiculous, but they feel good. And the reason why they feel good is because they are ridiculous. Jon Gabrus, let's talk about your tank.
I'm so stoked to be... I mean, it's also a hot day in LA today. It's a perfect tank top day.
Perfect.
This was a hard morning for me because I have like a tank top drawer.
I got to set you up a little because we've been very excited to have Jon on the show because he is a tank top man. We have not had a lot of tank top people at all. Okay. So
I'm a freak. I'm a freak. I hate sleeves. I'd prefer to go shirtless, but a tank top. And I'm from Long Island, and that's kind of like tank top culture there a little bit because of the Guido overlap with like beach communities.
Yes.
So tank top's not that crazy. I have a literal tank top drawer. And I was torn as to what tank top to wear, but I thought, because this past weekend was Father's Day, happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much.
Belated Father's Day. I thought I'd wear one of the few things I have of my dead dad's, which is this mad old Fleetwood Mac concert tee that he cut the sleeves and neck over. It has bleach stain. It's like so worn.
Yeah.
But this was something, tank tops my dad wore all the time.
Okay.
And he would wear them around the house when he was doing work. So this is like absolutely destroyed from him.
It's so good.
But it's like, it fits so, I have goosebumps talking about him right now.
Yeah.
I have like, this does not get worn. This is so funny because it is a trash shirt, but I only wear it for like nice occasions.
That's the thing. The thing where it's very, the shirts don't feel like that anymore.
Right.
They have to engineer them to feel like that.
Yes.
Now, you know, because now shirts are half plastic. And so like the shirts from that era, they're so nice. And the reason why, I mean, I went to a garage sale and a guy had a rack of vintage shirts and he's like, just FYI, those are really expensive. I'm like, I know, man.
I know.
I've lived in LA for over 20 years. I know how much these cost. This is the real deal. This is a real Tom Petty, you know.
Yeah, let me take a picture of the price tag and give my mom a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Ma, $65 t-shirt.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
like, you better not be spending your money on that, Jonathan. Yeah, so I'm a freak for tanks. This feels so like, but now it has sentimental value. So even though it's like a trashy, shredded crop top, more or less, I can't really wear it too frequently. So this opportunity felt like the right move.
That's awesome. I love that it's got like, I hate the term sentimental value, but it's like, it
really
does. It's emotionally meaningful.
Yeah, the shirt really means something to me.
That's
more
cool.
so than most tank tops. But I also... I did make some tank top merch back in the day for myself, and I thought I'd bring you a gift. So I brought you this Jon Gabrus #1 fuckboy tank top shirt where I'm holding 4 different types of porn stars.
I love it.
Referencing that Andre the Giant photo that I was obsessed with when I was younger.
Oh, dude, I'm going to rock this.
That's yours.
I'm going to rock this on the show for sure. This is fantastic, dude. I
figured,
love this.
I don't know what your collection's like, and I don't know how many episodes of your show you're doing, but I'm assuming you'll need to reach into the bottom of the barrel at some point.
I need more. I mean, I've said this on the thing. The original plan was to buy a new one per episode, but then I was just like, because I used to go, let's talk about your tank, and then I would talk about mine.
Yeah.
And I realized as soon as I started talking my mind, I'm like, I don't give a shit. I care about the guests. And I don't think the listeners like, oh, what's your new tank? Like the show is about tank tops, but it's not. You know what I mean?
But I do feel like you getting to show up, and then if our industry is impermanent, and
Sure.
eventually all the hard drives with our podcast episodes will be like nuked or something like that.
Of course.
But hopefully someday you could look in your closet and have like a dozen tank tops and be like, remember when I did tank top talks?
Oh yeah.
Pass them on to your daughter.
I'm psyched where it's like I tried to talk to my daughter about like what she's like, what is it? I'm like, we're tank tops, and it's just like she gives the same look I get from adults. Like, that's it.
If little kids can't wrap their head around your premise, you're hard pressed to sell this to Hulu or Netflix.
100%. Yeah.
So it's just non-muscular people with their sleeves off. Yeah,
that's about it. It's about it. But then it's funny. It's like it was just the stupidest idea I could have ever, but it turned out to be kind of one of the best because we go from people's hang-ups about them. Like it's a thing where, like, honestly, when the lady who books Moon Tower told her staff about the tank top talks thing, they're like, ew, what? Gross. And I'm like, nice, a visual reaction.
Yeah, it makes sense because they are like inherently trashy.
Sure.
Like you can't go up to Sunset Tower in these and walk in there.
As a matter of fact, right out.
Even like a tier below that kind of bar, you'd be hard pressed to feel comfortable. LA's a little different. You can kind of wear whatever the hell you want. And, we got to thank the LGBT community for blowing up what is fashion.
Thank you.
And honestly, what are relationships? Thank 100%. You. Like, this has really made it, us heterosexual guys are drafting hard off that shit.
Seriously. Yeah.
But, so now you'd still be kind of weirded out if you had a tank top on at a certain place or a certain hour.
It's always going to be somewhat fringe.
Right. Yeah.
And not cool fringe or whatever. I mean, I got kicked, like the nicest kicked out of a restaurant ever at Giada's in Las Vegas with my wife when I had a tank top on. Because I was just like, oh, I'm on the strip in Vegas, middle of the day, day drinking and gambling with my wife. Oh, let's get a drink. And this is Giada's new place and it overlooks the strip. Let's go up there. And we just sit at the bar and the man's like, I'm so sorry. Like he was so sweet, but it was like they have this thing.
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, we're Vegas, so it's crazy that we have any standards.
Come back in this much more material, and you can chain smoke.
Right, exactly.
Right here.
You could, if you wore an Ed Hardy MMA flame shirt, we'd prefer to have
totally
that.
Fine. Yeah, you can have any F-bombs, any curses on it you want, whatever you want.
Female body inspector. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but yours says fucking female body inspector.
Right, FFBI. It's the elite organization above the tier. Fucking
level.
Body inspector, just in lose female.
No female at all.
It is. I'm a shorts guy too, so I run into this problem every once in a while. And I used to have like a little bit of a parameter of like, I don't wear shorts on stage. Like if I'm gonna do comedy that night, because a long time ago, it's like an old Chicago thing I started in improv. And like Chicago people would be like, no, you don't wear shorts on stage. You have to dress up a little. And I was like, oh. And then like younger people came up and I was like, well, if everyone's going to be rocking shorts, I'm going to get these fucking gams out.
Yeah. And I thought it's funny you reference the incredible debt we owe to the LGBTQ plus community. Like they did that.
Yes.
And people being open and straight people being friends with them and us being like, oh, I'm going to rock that too. No sleeves.
Oh, hell yeah.
And jeans. I'll wear that.
I wore for the Del Close Marathon this past weekend in New York City. It was so fucking hot. I cut the sleeves off of a button-down Hawaiian shirt, which is probably the ultimate needle to thread Venn diagram for Uncle Gabrus over here.
Pretty good.
Where I was like, I usually wear tank tops or flower shirts. I'm like, wait a minute, cut the sleeves off of a flowered shirt. Now I'm like in my own wheelhouse.
That's your wrestling persona.
Yes.
That's when it's just like there's a vendetta that can only be settled in the ring. Well, sleeves cut off the Hawaiian.
Here's a name I came up with for myself when I saw myself in that shirt in a mirror. Jimmy Buffet.
It's right there. It's perfect.
It's like Jimmy Buffett, but fat. Jimmy Buffett, there's a guy who I don't like his music at all, but I like worship his lifestyle and the ideas around him.
It's crazy, dude. Kyle Kinane and I do this little tour called the Roommates Tour, because we used to be roommates. We just co-headline and we'll show up weird places. And we did
a hell of a show.
It's fun. Thank you. We did Miami, and it's this cool show that called the Comedy Inn. It's in a secret room in a Quality Inn.
Oh, cool.
That this dude is outfitted because it's in his family forever, and he's outfitted and he never tells the audience who's playing. So that night it was us, and it sells out all the time because they get all kinds of people. I think Dan Soder's played it. A lot of people. It's just random people just go. So they know like his tastes are good and it's worth the whatever $20. But we played Key West the night after that.
Hell yeah.
And I'd never been to Key West.
I have only been there once when I was a kid with my parents, and it's like one of these places that I feel like I need to return to in a sort of like Stolen Valley here, but like it's like my Mecca. Like, I'm like, I gotta like get in there and see if is this the right vibe for me?
Yeah. The only thing I liked everything about it except the level of heat and humidity for
pretty nasty.
Early June. I was like, whoa, the hell? And locals are like, this is nothing, dude. And I'm like, this is nothing. The hottest and wettest I've had is the Philippines. My wife and I went to Bantian, this island off of Cebu. And it was just like, it's just that thing where you're like,
where you got to swim through the air.
Yeah. And you're like, you're just a bug. Don't move too fast. Right. Don't do anything in the afternoon, but sit. Have a couple beers.
Stay under if you find a breeze or you find a moving fan.
Mornings and evenings, sick. The best time you'll ever have. Best vibe, best feeling. But you
got to live that like kind of siesta life.
Oh, yeah. You got to
for
sleep.
A couple hours. Yeah.
But like Key West also has, I did not know it's the guy, there's this club there, the Key West Comedy, great place. And the guy who owns it is this Boston guy who just kind of retired and got engaged and bought this place there.
Dream.
And he's like, he was telling me how there's these two islands. One is entirely billionaires. It's off the coast, and you have to take a ferry to get to it. And you can only get on that ferry if you're a resident or if you have a reservation at the one restaurant on that island. That's it.
Whoa.
This crazy elitist thing. This island, Wisteria Island, I think the only one between the two that has a name, is all homeless people with boats. And they are entirely self-sufficient. They have solar paneling. They have tents and stuff. The only thing they need to ferry in is drinking water. That's it. They have everything else.
Whoa.
And the guy put it, this dude, I'm blanking on the comedy club owner's name, but he's like super boss. And he's like, yeah, he's like the mayor's on my trivia team. Guy's a fucking genius. And it's like, the mayor of Homeless Island has got to be kind of a genius. You know what I mean? Yeah. To like pull the lines together and manage all these different people and stuff.
That's so fun. When I was in Key West with my family, my dad would just be like, his running thing was like, we would just see the biggest freak, like, guy in like Daisy Duke cutoffs, riding a bike barefoot with like a parrot on his shoulder. And my dad go, he's a Key Wester, Johnny. And he would just say it about everybody. Yeah. Like, and then like it started to be like, there would be like two men holding hands and he'd go, Key Westers. Yeah. And I was like, now I don't know what you mean by this anymore. Is this getting on?
What do you mean by party? Do you party? What is this? Do I use cocaine? Am I gay? What is it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of, I'm kind of open to anything at this point. Let's start with beers.
Just party. Let's move slow.
Let's start with a couple of ice cold frosty crispy boys and then we'll take it from there. But I could end up with Coke, could end up gay, and probably the two pair well together.
We'll see. Yeah. No, that you 100% see that. And it is that thing of just the fact that it's so far away. You have to drive through like 5 other keys to get to that key.
I have like this fantasy in my head of just being like a cocktail style bartender, just like work before he's a flair bartender with Brian Brown. Yeah. But when he goes to the Bahamas and like, I'm like that life for me might make sense. Like I'm 44 and I'm like, how long am I really going to do comedy for? Like, sure. And I'm like, what's next? And I'm like, Mexican beach bartender? Dude. And I'm like genuinely happy at the idea of this. Yes. And I'm like, when I like tell anyone, they're like, wait, what? For real? And I'm like, I don't know. What am I doing for the rest of my life? Am I going to be fucking podcasting 5 days a week and doing improv?
Oh, God, I know. If you can find that weird niche where, like, one thing I loved was Kyle and I just we got there, got out of the car, like, holy fuck. And we got inside the Airbnb and hit some AC and threw on like tank tops and stuff. And then walked until we got to the water. And the guy from the club told us where to go. Because it's like, of course, hotels have total domain over all these spots. Yeah. But there's this one beach that has its own little bar. And it's like, you just go right in the water. I just kicked my shoes off and threw my phone down and into the water, And it was like, it's needed. But it was like with the Mexican bartender, Mexican bar bartender thing, if you could just get that thing where they want to get more tourists, like say like Baja, long as you don't yourself sell cocaine, you're fine.
Right.
you're fine.
You buy it.
Because you're going to keep the shitty whites coming who need to see a white face to feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
And I'll speak their broken Spanglish with
exactly.
them. Sí, una chela, por favor.
Right.
Sí,
and you can tell them where to buy the Coke they want. And then the Baja cartel protects you the rest of your life. You know?
Along these lines, there's this, when we were in the Bahamas with my family, we wanted to buy pot. And we've heard we did the stereotypical thing of ask the jet ski rental guys.
Yeah.
The black dudes with dreads.
Sure,
maybe they have the pot. And he's like, you have to go 2 hotels down to the bar and ask for Tony Macaroni. And we're being pranked. But me and my brothers go, and we are 20, 18, and 14. And the three of us walk to this bar. And we go up, the bartender we see at this beach kind of bar, at this kind of shitty hotel where there's not a lot of people at the bar, he's got a bandana, an earring, a fake he's got a full pirate regalia on. And we go up to the bar and we're like, let's just get a drink and we'll sit around and then we'll ask who Tony Macaroni is. We order 3 beers off this guy. He has a tattoo that says Tony Macaroni on his arm. And I go, are you Tony Macaroni? He's like, yeah. I was like, we were told we can come to you to purchase some stuff. He's like, well, what kind of stuff are you looking for? We're like, stuff you could smoke. And he's like, great. Meet me in the men's room in 10 minutes and I'll sell it to you. And we sent my 14-year-old brother. We were like, dude, you got to go in there. It's like, you're the youngest guy.
Rite of passage.
In hindsight, we're like, what did we do to that poor kid? But at that time, we just sent him in. And Tony Macaroni had some swag ass weed, but we had a great fucking night in the Bahamas. But I could be a Tony Macaroni. I could be a Johnny Maloney or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think it would be the thing of selling anything that's regulated is its own weird little headache, in so many levels and stuff. But there is that lane where if you figured it out. Yeah. You're like, okay, there's no real risk here.
Yeah. And so going back to the Key West thing for a minute, it's in my head as this paradise place, but I have a feeling if I go there, I'd meet 3 people. I'm like, this place fucking, who is this asshole?
Oh yeah.
You can't live your life like this. And then I'm thinking someday I'll be there and I'll be barefoot working at the Soggy Dollar Bar or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's
Sloppy Joe's.
You go there and it's everyone is kind of an alcoholic and and they're lost souls and it's kind of scary a little. Yeah.
That was the thing of if you could, I wouldn't say take out because it is part of the character, but minimize the ungodly wealth of these mansions and the insane level of alcoholism of blind out, where Kyle and I found that was Sloppy Joe's. Let's go there. And it's this giant bar with dollar bills everywhere, but it's the size of this building. We're in a practical effects warehouse. Yeah. We're in a warehouse right now, FYI. The studio inside a warehouse. And it's so big and they have a band on stage and the band is older than our parents. And the guy, and they kept talking, well, you might know this guy. This guy's got some stories. And they kept talking and me and Kyle were laughing because it's everyone's fucking play a song. But they just kept forgetting they'd been talking. Anyway, but it was so big. And it's that thing of, right around 9 p.m., they're kicking out 40 to 50 people. No question. Because these guys are already pounding hard.
They've been there since noon.
Because they think it's I can be just like Jimmy Buffett if I get hammered by 1 in the afternoon.
Right. And I'm just living in flip flops and I'm and it's all
I lost my shaker of salt. Yeah. Isn't it adorable?
You're I lost custody of my children as well. You're oh, okay, man. That's a little less fun. Yeah.
That's a part of the song they don't say.
I'm not allowed to go to Target anymore. Yeah, we talk about wealth inequality being an issue in this country, and if you live in a place that has an island for billionaires and an island for unhoused people, that is a real fucking Absalon level fucking sci-fi dystopian setup. Yeah.
I think about
a raiding party of unhoused people stealing food and
at
water.
Night is coming over. Yeah, I mean, I think about how I'll entertain myself when I turn undeniably elderly. I'm undeniably middle aged right now.
Right. Yeah,
and I'm actually enjoying it. But undeniably.
Was it, speaking of which, was it a tough choice to put the gray beard on Braunger on your shirt?
No. I just sent pictures to this artist who's great. I always blank on his fucking name, Irish guy, and he just drew it.
It looks amazing.
Thanks.
But you got to make that choice at some point. You're yeah, I guess I have a fully gray beard now. Yeah,
I do. I actually just had. I did I've had a recurring role on The Paper on NBC. It was great. And they just reached out for they're going to announce the little recurring cast and stuff. Yeah. And they're you want to use this picture? And it was It's not as gray as I am now. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please. Let's just use that one.
Let's use that one. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have any grays in the hair yet. I mean, I bleached my hair because I'm living my middle age. I'm
looks great.
Neck deep in a midlife crisis like you've never seen before.
Sure.
But the gray is coming in on the beard, and I'm like, it's inevitable that I'm going to flip.
But you're like the cool stage. I remember when mine just was this.
Yeah, that's fun.
And I was getting all this compliments on that and stuff, but it's like, I don't have the heart to just for men this. And I know I have friends who it's like they'd come around and I'd be like, is that Ronald Reagan's hair? What's
it looks a little too Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Black.
If you dye your beard black, you look like NWO era Hogan. And that's a bad look.
You look like the shop teacher that wore like the toupee that was a hat.
Yeah, like a
with
shoe
the sideburns
polish
coming off a little, and it's like
Lego man, like popping on the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta be okay with this stage of having some grays, but then all of my friends who are I'm 44, all my friends who are like 2 or 3 years older,
right,
all are fully gray here, and then it's like creeping up into here. And I'm like, and of course, as we know, as men, and if we're being shallow, having gray hair is better than having no hair.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry to all our bald listeners.
Love you.
But we love you. You're a big fan. You look great in a tank top. It fits perfectly with the bald head. Honestly, tank top, bald head is an elite combo.
I remember making my friend Neil Flynn laugh, R.I.P., great guy. But it was one of those plane. We were on a plane going to something. I think we were going to South by Southwest. And it's one of those like shopping magazines, Sky Shopping or whatever.
Yeah, Sky Mall.
Sky Mall. It was like Sky Mall, but it was a weights system and program, and it was a guy my age, totally bald, hair on the sides, round glasses, almost kind of a cherubic face, like kindly dad. He'd be the kindly dad who turned out to be a serial killer, like in a movie, like almost too kindly.
You described straight up like a Guess Who character, by the way.
100%.
Does he have glasses? Oh, click.
Yeah, exactly. Body, huge and cut, pair of jeans. And they had, if I'm not mistaken, one of him shirtless and one with the string tank. That we had.
Love a string tank.
Dude, GM3 came on the show, Gerald Mearshart the third, the MMA guy.
Yeah.
And he wore a string tank. And I'm like, you look like a bad guy from Roadhouse. He's like, that's what I was going for.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Psyched.
The other tank top I love too that I think I go to a really like gay gym in West Hollywood and I see it on a lot of guys and I'm jealous of the look.
Oh man.
Those super big holes on the side.
It's such a hole.
Yeah, where it's like it's
unforgiving holes.
It's not fully tanked. Yes. Or like for these guys, it's like whatever their hot rib cage tattoo is.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's not really a strap tank. It's more like a cut shirt. Like, it's got kind of like, because sleeveless shirt, tank top, not the same thing, right?
No,
because that's a tank top. This isn't officially a tank top in my book. Yeah,
I said this on the show a lot. Steph Tolev came on the very first show with a muscle shirt.
Yeah,
she called it a muscle tank, and I was like, it's fine.
Yeah, a muscle
roll is just no sleeves.
Yeah, that's the sleeveless tight. Like it's a t-shirt with the sleeves ripped off.
Right.
Then there's like this version that a lot of people wear. You see it on hot girls too. Wear it with a bra, and you you love that shit.
Good look.
But that big loop down there, that seems so freeing. That seems like not for me.
So much air flying in there.
And that's the dream. And I'll tell you what.
So nice.
I don't always get a chance to drive like first thing in the morning somewhere in a tank top, and driving here this morning with my windows down and like my armpit hair getting fucking like breezed through. I'm like, this is a fucking treat. This is a bit of a treat. Yeah.
You and do you know Alec Flynn?
Yeah.
Great dude. He showed up in like the ribbed undershirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Tucked into jean shorts.
Oh, and amazing.
He was like, I was just wearing this anyway today. I was like, hell yes, man.
I love that we call we've eliminated the old name for it.
Yeah. That,
so now we ribbed tank, I've heard, and then there's a shirt, of course, because T-shirt is representative of the pattern, and a shirt has this.
I haven't heard a shirt.
That's where the differentiating between T and A.
Oh.
T and A. Yeah, you came to the right place, baby. But on Action Boys, because we're always talking about 80s and 70s and 90s movies, every hero's got one on.
Of course.
So we've started calling it a wife eater. So it's a compliment. It's a positive thing. You wear that, you go
Sure.
down on your
Yeah,
wife.
you're getting dirty. Sure.
So, but it is funny that we were calling it that shirt. Like I was like 11 years old and we were like, Mom, where's my wife beater?
Yeah.
And she's like, I think it's in the wash. You know?
I think I've said mentioned this in the show, but we had this, I was in this class to get my theater degree when I went to school, and we'd go into the city, we'd go into New York, into Manhattan, and watch everything. We get all these tickets, all these cool shows, experimental dance and performance art and stuff. But there was one that was all about domestic violence, and a guy came out on stage and he had on a wife beater and he was holding a beer, and I immediately was like, you lost me.
Yeah.
This is fucking, he's wearing the uniform. Right. Like, I know who the abuser is. Have him wear something else.
I wonder who is the wife beater.
Oh, wow. Is he the bad guy in this scenario?
It's like a fucking Superman shirt.
So,
yeah.
It's like, need a little more mystery, especially because there's no words in this.
Right.
You know?
Fun. Oh, I got to go see a no-word show about domestic abuse.
This is great.
Cool, thanks.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, for every show, I was like, wow, that blew my mind. There were like 3 that I was like, ugh.
Okay, yeah.
How many government grants did you get for this that could have gone to anything else?
You're like, I might check out stand-up. Right. After you watch like your 4th silent dance retreat or whatever, you're like, look into stand-up, and your drama teacher's like, stand-up is a tool for the masses or whatever. You're like,
it's low art.
Yeah, sure, pal, I'm out of here.
No. Thankfully, we never got it. I saw there was actually a Japanese performer named Issei Ogata who was hugely influential on me. They're like, they use like a term, he's the Robin Williams of Japan. And like, I watched him, and he mostly did like stuff you would see at like Edinburgh, like kind of like a one-man thing in different scenarios.
Right.
And like, we had the thing in our ear where the guy's translating what he said, but a lot of his stuff was movement. He was really hilariously gifted physical comedian, but it was all about how stifling Japan is. And so he was constantly getting shut down by the authorities, where they're like calling him like anti-nationalist and stuff. But it's like he would play these goofy guys who were constantly getting shit on by, he'd make fun of like, do the salaryman thing and stuff. But I remember like, that was the one, because I didn't even imagine I'd be into comedy at that point.
Right,
I was an actor back then.
Whoa, hard to picture.
And I know.
Not hard to picture you being wanting to be an artist.
Sure.
Hard to picture you not having stand up. I mean, I only have one context for Braunger.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, so it's like,
it's fine.
But for you, that must have like, you seem taken to the art form of stand up so much that's crazy that was.
I loved it. I respected it. It just didn't. I was like, oh, that probably won't be my thing. And then I got to Chicago and did improv, and then I met stand-ups and was like, oh, let me try this. And then that was a thing that got rolling. And ironically, that's the thing that helped me get acting work.
Right.
But when I just tried to be an actor in Chicago, nothing.
No.
Didn't give a shit.
No, you need something that. I have extreme sympathy for my friends in the industry who are just like pure actors who are like waiting for something. I'm like, dog, I have like 11 podcasts. I'm touring. I'm doing like 100 things to make, a teacher's salary per year. I have like 16 jobs. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine just being like, hopefully this audition, because I'm auditioning a couple days a week and hearing 0 things back.
Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. You'll go, I'll do like a self-tape for some indie flick and be like, oh, I'd be great for this random high school principal. My dad was one.
Well, the beat before that is you read it, you're like, this is not great. This doesn't pay well. I would have to go to like Kansas for 4 weeks and like the character is a little embarrassing to play, but I feel like I could be value added to this. Okay, I'm going to work on it. You work on it. And then you don't hear anything. Then you ask your agent and you're like, oh, that movie's coming out this weekend. And you're like, I had to like trick myself into saying I'd be good for, and then you believe your own like hype where you're like, I'm not going to, this is so dumb. It's like, actually though, like it would be actually a really cool job, good opportunity to work with this director. You start making all these excuses where you're like, and then all of a sudden you want it, this thing you didn't want previously, you want, and you're like, talked yourself into being like, actually Kansas, I do have a friend there. It'd be fun to be in Kansas. And like, and then you just, the joke I always make is I send in my self-tape and I hear the garbage pail sound effect coming from the casting. They're like, just click and drag. Oh, good. The Gabrus file came in. Just click, drag. Yeah. He worked on this for like 6 hours and forgot his Dropbox login and it took him forever to get it back in. But we'll just click and drag it right here. Great. Let's call Paul Walter Hauser. He's booking it.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So if I didn't have stand up and improv and podcast to like get my willies out, I think I'd like,
and our silly crowd.
Right.
Like I have an acting coach that I go to every time I self tape. And I will.
Ooh, I think I need to enter this territory. I think I need to
do it.
Start taking it a touch more seriously.
Do it because he'll, it costs a certain amount per hour, but it's like it's not that crazy, especially if you really care about the. And he'll, retake, just walk you through it and stuff like that. And it's good to have someone to read with that's not your wife.
Yeah, dog.
I have someone that's not totally over you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's one thing.
How long is this going to take? Did you like that take?
I guess I did.
Yeah. You have something to go do? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also, if it's just up to me, I'm like, we got it.
100%.
I'm like, we're done.
Good enough.
Yeah, good enough. I did it. I'm so happy I got this done.
Yes.
And it's like not even like, I
didn't screw up any lines.
Yeah, I don't know if I did it right or not, but I'm so happy it's done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'll occasionally gonna go do, I'll go do your acting intensive for like a couple weeks, once a week, you know? And it's like 3 hours a week. And being a dad, it's like sometimes you're like, all right, man, this is too long. So I'll drop out and then I'll come back. But the thing I find, they're all the actors, straight up actors, sweet, nice people. We all get along. There's always a guy who's like maybe around my age, a little jaded. You know? And everybody's a little bit shell shocked over the cratering of the business in LA and stuff. But man, when I get back with the silly people that we're treading water, but we're treading water. I'll check these guys out and look at their social media and they don't have any. And I'm like, dude, how are these people supposed to know who the fuck you are?
It's crazy.
They just are still counting on a system that largely hasn't existed for about 10 years.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And the getting back with the silly, that's always really fun when you're like, you're working on like a traditional set or in some kind of more acting type thing. And then you're like, one other person is a comedy person and you're like, come over here.
Come here.
Please.
Come sit with me.
Come please sit next to me. Can we sit together at lunch? Because these people, I feel like I'm angering them with my bits.
Yes.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm upsetting them.
Right.
I need someone who understands that I'm being a touch facetious with everything I say.
Did you ever do Leslie Kahn?
No, I never did.
Okay. I did that for a couple years. And when I booked Mad TV, I signed up again to be like, let me tighten the screws.
Right.
And I went in there and I remember the thing that it's great. She's great. Their technique is I took issue with certain things they would try, especially some of the other teachers, but nothing crazy. But almost every class I was in, it was divided between people who weren't working and people who were. Oh. And the people who were all talked to each other. And I remember the moment I was in that thing and I was talking, they're like, oh, you're back. And I'm like, yeah, man. And what brings you back? I'm like, oh, I booked a job. And I saw the workers all look at me.
Like, come on, sit with us.
It's weird.
Oh, that's
they
fucked
didn't
up.
beckon, but I was kind of like it, and it never occurred to me until then. I was like, this is fucked up.
That's not the kind of class division I like to hear. It's like who's working and who's not. No. I've never really taken acting classes. Of course, I've taken like tons of improv and sketch classes, but I've never taken real acting classes. I signed up a few years ago based on a recommendation of my friend Zach Woods, and I take this woman, great acting teacher. I'll say Nancy Banks was her name, and so I take the class. And I'm in this like intermediate program and the class ends and I am fucking like, I'm like, this is not for me. I'm so bad. I'm having a hard time. The notes I'm getting, I can't even like wrap my head around or whatever. And so I was like, and the teacher was like, would you be considering taking this again? I'm like, yeah, I mean, this was very helpful. She's like, well, I'd like to move you down. I got like demoted. And I was like, why don't you take the beginner class after I had taken the intermediate class just because I had credits? I guess they assumed I had like writing, acting capabilities, but they were like, no, you should be bumped down. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fair. And then I went back to like the beginner level and I was like, this is really strange here. This is. And the other one was inspirational. I did feel like out of the loop. Like I'm like, oh, these people are good. Yeah. But it was good to watch good people. That was like, and that made me feel better. But then when I was like, in this class with all beginners, I was like, this is making me sad. And no one was bad and no one was like, but everyone's energy was just a little different. There was like a touch less confidence and it really stressed me out. And then of course in these classes too, they make you partner with someone. Yeah. And now I've got some like 24-year-old kid from Texas at my apartment and we're running lines and he's like, you're married? That's crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not really that nuts.
That's not a lot of people.
You're just young.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. That, you know what's crazier is that you're 24 and know what you want to do in life. Yeah. That's nuts.
That's nuts. Yeah, I mean, but have you ever been like you're an amazing improviser? Have you ever been in? Because I did all the levels at IO in Chicago and Annoyance, and then when UCB set up shop here, I just signed up for the level 1 and everybody, I mean, my last improv teacher was literally Del Close.
That's awesome.
I'm in the level 1 and these guys I'm doing scenes with are like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like they're saying that to me, and it's just like, I'm sure you've been around that.
Yeah.
too.
Well, you don't want. Yeah. You're also like, like you're the type of person that's not going to be like, I demand I start in level 3, like, which is cool.
I wouldn't know the definition.
Right. I fantasize sometimes about being like, what if I just like started Groundlings in my 40s and like learned their style of improv and messed around with that and just got some new. And I'm like, oh, every time I think of something crazy like that, I'm like, no more improv. Learn to act.
Oh, yeah.
Learn to write. Learn to do something that isn't fucking improv. Well, I am very good at it.
Yeah.
I am maybe in like the top 50 people who are still doing it.
Right.
And it doesn't really do anything for me.
Well, and you don't need to throw yourself into another crabs in the barrel situation.
Right.
Which is what they all are. I'm not calling out, the Groundlings for that. Second City's like that. They're all like that.
UCB's like that.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Where it's the people who are like the stars, and then how do you work your way up through time and give them a lot of money and stuff. Right. Like my buddy Rob, who was one of the first guys I did stand up with back in the day, he took Second City and he's just, frat dudes. He was a wise ass all the time. And he'd be at like Second City and be like, because it's like you do A through F and then you do like 1 through 5.
Right.
And he'd be like, you guys are missing out on a whole set of Roman numerals. Right. That's a whole new revenue stream, guys.
Yeah, you can do IV.
You see them all just being like,
I. Yeah. Yeah, that's you guys, there's a chance you're leaving money on the table here. Yeah. Because there are freaks who will take all those classes too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially with the thing of the Will Ferrell in here.
Right.
Well, and you can't knock the Groundlings for the people that have come out of the Groundlings. Like, Phil Hartman alone.
Right. It's
if
worth
there were nobody else.
Well, yeah, that's like kind of where I'm at too, is like where I'm like, this is too weird of a place for me to be in right now of just like, what do I, like I started doing stand up in the last couple of years, like more frequently. And I'm really enjoying that. And it's like, I finally got over the fact that I've been a fan of it for so long that I'm like, well, I can't do what that person that I've been watching since I was 15 does. I don't have this kind of, and I'm like, eventually got around to like, well, if I do what I want to do and people don't hate it, like that's the victory, right? That's what performing is. Yeah.
Well, and you're, I don't know, you've seen The Color of Money.
Yeah.
Okay. So Paul Newman is talking to Tom Cruise about being a hustler, and part of it is fooling people.
Right.
Of course. And he's like, you're a tremendous character. And he's like, that's what I keep telling her. I got character. No, you don't have any character. You're a tremendous schmuck. People come in, they all want a piece of you. You're flashy, you're an idiot. And he's like, hey, getting all hurt. But it's like, I think you can extrapolate that to stand up, because you're a schmuck, but you're a character on stage. And half of stand up is being the person like, I got to tell you this story. It's hilarious.
Right.
Listen to me. So you're like the funniest guy at a party.
Yes. You're like, well, a hop, skip, and a jump away there. And like, I have confidence and stage presence built from years of performing. And then it's like, that translates pretty easily to stand up. But in my head, the whole time I'm like, well, I'm not Mitch Hedberg. I'm not Bill Burr. I'm not so-and-so. I'm not Wanda Sykes. I'm not all these. And I'm like, yeah. And then honestly, what worked for me was starting to do stand up and seeing what the other 7 people on the lineup are doing and going like, okay, well, I'm amongst these people for sure. like sure. Like, and then some are really good, some are fine, some are bad, but I'm like, I'm on this spectrum here. Yeah. I'm not Solomon Giorgio, but I'm the other, I'm around these couple of people around here on this line. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. All right. And then all of a sudden I'm like,
you can hold the line. You can hold it up.
And then you could be like, oh, this person has a full blown stand up comedy career, being like, you aren't doing Netflix specials, but you are making some fucking coin. And you're like, okay. And then that really freed me up, that I was like, because that's like being excited to play basketball and be like, well, it sucks because I'm not as good as LeBron. You're like,
100%.
Yeah, well, no one is. It's
no
like,
one.
What? Yeah. The people you are on the lineup with are nowhere near as good as everyone looks up to the aspirational people or whatever. And it's like, and I just go, well, I can't do that, so I can't do stand up. And it's like, wait, no, that's not how that works. Yeah.
I mean, it, like a lot of it is kind of just having, like you say, confidence, but it's also just like kind of not caring.
It's kind of like it's like thick skin. It's like, just kind of like, and that's probably a skill set that's helped me in this transfer into stand up, is that I have bombed a bunch before.
Yeah, you have.
And I survived.
Yeah.
And like I bombed doing improv, I bombed doing character bits, and it's like, Oh, and my life didn't change, and no one said like, well, you know what, you're not allowed to do comedy anymore.
Yeah.
So like once you have that of like, well, bombing's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's like when you get into skating as a kid or whatever, skateboarding, and you wipe out once, and you're like, oh, that was not as bad as
and you're like, kill me.
Yeah,
it hurt,
I was afraid of it,
but it was like, oh, the fear was worse.
Right, exactly. And the fear was preventing me from trying stuff because I'm so worried about crashing.
Yeah.
And it's like then you crash a couple of times, or you get tackled a couple of times in rugby or whatever. I'm using my only specific to my life examples, but you go like, okay, this is not bad. I guess this is part of the game. And then so then you see people's fear of bombing. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, I could do a show for a crowd that doesn't want to hear it. I can do 10 minutes into a microphone for a crowd that is borderline hostile. Yeah. And I won't do well, but I can get off stage and brush it off and go home, smoke a J, and watch a movie.
Absolutely. And it won't haunt me.
Yes. And then I think that's a stronger skill set than joke writing. Like it's like, absolutely. That's going to keep you in the game longer than being a good writer or having good act outs.
God knows there are 1,000 better joke writers than me, but I was that kid who never was afraid of public speaking.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm more afraid of it now than I was. As a kid, I would get in front of a school assembly and do a bullshit character and stuff because I got made fun of when I was young a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is my
do this anyway. Yeah.
I could not drop in a half pipe. I was afraid of, I was skateboarding, but as I've said in the show, I did it mostly for transportation. I like riding around, you know?
Yeah. We would just skateboard to the skate shop and then shoplift. Yeah. My friends, and I would be so far behind them as like the one fat kid. They'd all be like, and I'd be like, they'd wait for me at like every traffic light. And I'd be like, and like eventually I'd be like kind of like lightly jogging, just holding my skateboard to keep up with the crew and shit like that. And then we go to Brand's Bicycle Shop that had a skateboarding section on Wantagh Avenue on Long Island next to the McDonald's. We'd get Mickey D's. And then we go over to Brand's and we would all just run cover for each other as we shoplifted anything we can get our hands on. Sure. 411 DVDs, the ball bearings for, whatever, independent trucks right there, grab them.
My buddy Aaron's big brother Ryan, you just reached out and was like, can I just start selling decks to like these companies? They were like, sure. And he just started selling them. And then he started selling them out of his dad's pharmacy, and the pharmacy expanded and they called it RX Skates. Oh, and so
cool.
So we would like go and buy, obviously wouldn't shoplift from there.
Right.
But like we had this ground level thing and all these other places popped up. But I literally had a move called, I didn't name it, called the Matt Braunger, which is you lean too far on your skateboard while you're standing on it, shoots behind you and you fall on your face. And my friend Brandon would be like,
we're not
Braunger.
moving at all.
He would yell it like, you did it. You did your move. Because I would just forget. I'd just be leaning on the front and get too high, just too far over that front truck and it would shoot out. I was so bad. I was
awful. Yeah, that's
terrible. But like I that era, and I kind of maintain, I used to get in arguments.
Where are you
with kids.
from?
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it was like huge skate scene there and stuff. Right. But I maintained that when skateboarding really caught on or got big nationally was after Back to the Future.
Right.
Because you didn't really see people skateboarding much, post the 70s.
Right.
Besides like
SoCal, Dogtown, and Z-Boys and
exactly,
all that shit.
Those guys. And then it was this thing of like, oh, Marty McFly breaks the front off of that scooter and holds onto the back of that car. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I feel like Gleaming the Cube came out, and the Christian Slater skate movie came out. It's called The Brothers Justice in some markets.
Yes.
There is like that movie kind of kick. So I would probably have started skating in like, I moved from this is the most obvious setup ever. I moved from an all black and Hispanic town where I was playing basketball and street football every day with my neighbors. And then I moved to a like white and like mostly Jewish town when I was 13. And I started skateboarding and playing street hockey.
Got it.
And it's just like the most, and lacrosse. It was like truly like
culturally accurate.
Yes, exactly. And Long Island is it's not a it's not a melting pot. It's a tossed salad. It's very diverse, but there's a tomato section, a Irish section, a Jewish section, a black section. It's like town to town, even in their neighborhoods have that. And like, of course, I moved to this town and I'm like, well, skateboarding. I knew no one that did this, and it's like now I'm.
Gotta learn a whole thing.
Yeah, and I was into the vibe of it all. I still probably dressed the same I did then. Like,
it was so cool.
Yeah,
it was so cool. Whenever like a new like Pal Peralta video would come out, like VHS, we'd be like, oh, get it, and
then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out for PlayStation, and that like man. You finally learned every skater's name and all the moves names, and then you were like, nothing you could do. Right. You're like, now I know what a McTwist is.
Yeah. Well, like 720, video game. I remember when that thing came out, because we had I haven't seen a lot of these. We had nickel arcades when I was a kid. That was a big thing. You pay $5 to get in, but all the games are a nickel. And so anytime someone had a birthday coming out, you're like, we can go on the nickel arcade, right? And then it was just this, late 80s height of the video game thing.
We had an arcade in my hometown that everyone had their birthday party at where all the games were free.
Oh, nice.
And you had pizza, you sang happy birthday, and then you just played games in this kind of like dark, it was like pretty much like, oh, we have a random room. We don't have to decorate it at all. We just have to put 12 cabinets in it and kids will pay. And it was like, that was like a dream come true. The idea, also my pop-up used to babysit us a lot, and my mom's dad, and he would take us to the Long Beach boardwalk. We would get Nathan's hot dogs, and then that Nathan's had a huge arcade in it. Oh, wow. And our parents we were poor growing up. Getting quarters at the arcade was like pulling teeth from our parents. But our pop-up would get $20 in quarters and let it out to, and we're like 80 quarters. And to us, it was like the most unbelievable amount of money that he would be like, we're like, Pop-up, can I have another $1? And he'd give us like, in hindsight, he was such a gambling addict. He was such a slot machine guy that I think he was getting a little bit of juice from just being in the loud, tinkly noises and lights of the arcade. It was like he was like chasing some sort of dragon there a little bit. So he a 60-year-old man at this point, had no qualms sitting in the Nathan's arcade while his like 3 grandsons were like, can I have another $1 to play Dragon's Quest? And it's like arcades were huge for me as a kid. Yeah.
Well, and I remember one of the biggest thrills in Las Vegas for me, and my wife loves Vegas. I'll go with her.
Pinball museum. No, sorry. That is a very fun thing to do in Las Vegas. If you haven't ever done, it's awesome.
Yeah. But my buddy, I was in charge. We went in my 20s, and I think it might have, was it my first time there? It might have been. I was like 25, and somebody booked us all at Circus. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But at one point, we started just going around and playing the midway games and turning in the tickets for like toys.
Yeah.
And kids started following us. And so we're all talking trash to each other and handing out little Austin Powers and Dr. Evils to the kids. So that was like the juice. That was like who made the most baskets in the thing. And making all these kids happy.
You're in Vegas and you are ostensibly gaming and gambling.
Oh, yeah.
But you're playing Pop-A-Shot basketball rather than blackjack.
I didn't even mention, with a bachelor party. So it's all dudes. It's all a bunch of dudes. None of us have kids. Well, maybe two of the guys who came from like, we were all bartending and waiting tables in Chicago, but all of these guys' friends who like had families in like Wisconsin, those are the guys that got shit-faced at 10 a.m.
Okay, we have to discuss this bachelor party dynamic because I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm famously rarely ever a groomsman, but I'm always no one wants me in pictures, but they all want me at their bachelor party.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like I'm fucking.
Why not in pictures? You're a handsome man.
I know I'm value added at a party, but they don't really want me to like be up there in a tux with like everyone and be like, what is this guy doing?
That's crazy.
Yeah. But so I go to a lot of bachelor parties.
Okay.
One of the best dynamics you have is when your bachelor party is a group of friends and then the groom's brother, friend from home, or relative of the forthcoming wife.
Yes.
They're added in this. So it's like, for examples for me would be like, it's 7 comedy guys.
Yes.
And like 1 computer engineer brother. And whether they have a sense of humor or not doesn't matter.
Right.
They are the ones who go way too hard in the paint immediately.
Yes.
And they are too drunk or too broke that they are like stressed. They like lose so much money that they're stressful to be around, or they get so drunk that they're stressful to be around. And they're like, I don't know if I can go to if I could be part of the cabana rental today. I'm kind of like out of money. And we're like, no, this is not how you act on bachelor parties. You have to do all the activities.
I think I'm going to die.
Yeah. And it's
have a mimosa.
Yeah. And it's like,
ride it out.
Dog, you are
recover
40
a day later.
Yeah. I'm 28. You're 40. You have to lock it up, man. You cannot be the worst guy on this trip.
Yeah. We caught one of them doing the thing. He tried to sneak out. Like he's so drunk, just trying not to get seen.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's all right, man.
Yeah.
I'll help you back to your room. I don't need your help.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I was going to go get another drink at a different bar because this place is playing bad music. You're like, brother, fucking relax.
I'm surprised I understood you.
Yeah. And I've been a hardcore partier for now up to like probably 30 years.
Sure.
I have not stopped. And I'm back into it. A friend of mine said the other day, I think going out and getting fucked up is back. And I feel like it is. And it could be an age thing. We're around the same age. So you go through that phase where you're like, wow, drinking is poison. Or
Sure.
you have like a kid and you're like, this year it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to get opportunities to party.
Right.
Or you have like, you're in a specific phase in your relationship, your career, your health journey where you're like, but I think in the last year, in addition to like the anecdotal experience of being people our age, I do think there is like a dash of, what the word I'm looking for here is maybe positive nihilism.
Right.
Of like,
hedonism.
Am I gonna really not drink because I want to be healthy and live longer in a world that I might outlast? Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, we're talking nukes and wars all the time. And it's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to have 7 beers on a Wednesday. I'm sorry. Because if the world is going to end, I'm not going to be so happy that I'm like, I got my blood pressure down right before the fucking big one landed, you know?
Well, and it's like, there are people I've known in my life where it's clearly medicine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like 7 beers on a Wednesday, 7 beers every night.
Yes.
Shots interspersed. Forgotten drinks.
Right.
Uncountable levels.
Been there.
All the time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's this thing of, yes, it is poison, but I feel like exercise and also like naturally created endorphins are anti-poison in a lot of ways.
Correct.
I'm not saying they eliminate that stuff, but it's that thing where it's like, you know who really dies young from alcohol are people who don't deal with their depression.
Right.
And use it to smooth all that shit over.
Right.
You're not that guy. I'm not that guy.
No, I'm partying.
Yeah.
I'm doing it to party.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having, if I'm home, I'm not drinking.
Right.
If I'm out, I'm partying. I'm like, and what does that mean? Gay stuff, cocaine? We don't know. Not to make it a crazy callback, but a full hour later. But I'm down to party. And then it's like one of these things where it's like alcohol is poison. It's like, but you're telling me I have microplastics in my fucking jizz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have like all these things that I didn't do anything about just by the way I was raised. Of like, oh, my mom and dad, we were beach family, but we didn't talk about sunscreen until like 2004. And it's like, I did all these things that were poison to me and that weren't as fun. Right. I have microplastics in my nuts by accident. Sure. I didn't like, this is because I used to fuck a Fisher Price slide or something like that. No, it just happened.
I got that stuff free from corporations.
Yes. Thank you. And so I'm like,
thanks guys.
And I'm going to sit here and go like, I bet, because it reminds me of that whole like, hey, drink out of a paper straw. And meanwhile, like the company that's telling you to drink out of a paper straw is like pouring poison into like endangered fishes.
Oh, I saw this woman break it down in terms of, because this guy was arguing for a data center in the area, of course, clearly paid off. And this woman, and he's like, you know, if your email cloud, your blah, 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 your things you use every day, if you like that. And she's like, well, this reminds me of that ad from the 70s. You might not remember it before your time, where there's a family, they leave cans out and they see a Native American ghost and it's crying. Yeah. That was actually an ad created by can companies because they didn't want to pick up their own cans. Right. Then you had BP putting ads up. Here's how you can reduce your carbon footprint. Yeah, put it all on us. They didn't have to do shit. Right. That kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, well, even recycling is like, look, we make our shit out of toxic plastic, but it's up to you guys to do the right thing and sort it and do it. And then when we sort it and do it, and then they just take it all and they're like, I hope China will buy it or whatever they do with all our recycling. It's like, crazy. I'm lucky enough to have like a couple of little restaurants in my neighborhood that I can walk to with my kid, have a martini there, have a glass of wine, walk home, have 2 or 3 beers, watching whatever movie we're watching together. Right. And it's a fantastic Friday night, you know? Whereas the thing where it's like, I'm not, the amount of people, my wife and I signed up at this fantastically stuck in the past kind of, it's technically a country club, but it's not exclusive at all. Right. Anybody can sign up, any of that stuff. And I know about these kind of places. It's like families love it because they get like their kid a pool in the summer. That's exactly it. We did not sign up for the golf package, the tennis package. No. We'll play tennis sometimes. We got to pay when we do, and that's fine. But it's, you know, it's not expensive. Mostly like a place to go, and then you're like, oh, you end up having some like parent friends that you meet. Exactly. Like, oh, your kids are playing together in the pool. Yeah. Like, and a lot of my parent friends, party parents that I call them, they'll go there and stuff. They got a great bar. Right. They have, you know, good restaurant and stuff. You can eat by the pool. And I am going for Taco Thursday tomorrow with another family, and I'm just bringing my kid. And I'm not driving. Like, I'm going to get a car, you know, get a ride share there and back. I have the car seat that fits in there that locks in and stuff. But I see parents all the fucking time. 3 martinis. I got to get the kids home. And I'm like,
Dog.
What are you doing?
I went to a Long Island Little League game and like U10 Little League game. These kids are under 10.
That just sets it up.
First of all, they have something we didn't have growing up. We had like, we would see our favorite athletes on TV and be like, oh, I'm Jordan, I'm Kobe.
Yeah.
But now with like Instagram and more, these kids have a very good... All of these kids dress like they're playing college baseball. They have eye black, they have arm sleeves, they have like expensive bats. One kid on this team had a chain with a cross on it on the outside of it, like, and he was not Dominican, but he had like the full Dominican baseball player look, you know, like, and it was such a crazy experience. And I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, Long Island's so nuts. And then, you know, those park trash cans that are like wire mesh, and so you can kind of like see inside them. There's no bag inside them.
Yes.
I'm sitting there watching. It's empty at first inning. I look over at like the third inning. It's got maybe 40 White Claw cans in it. And then I'm looking over and I start looking around at all the other parents, and all the moms have huge Stanley mugs. All the dads have like koozies with cans inside of it. One of the other parents comes over to me and is like, he's like, you want a drink or something? I'm like, no, I'm so hungover. I'm like, today's like a weed day. He's like, oh, you want to smoke weed? And I was like, isn't your kid playing baseball right now? And he's like, yeah. My wife's over behind the snack shack with her vape if you want to go hit it. I'm like, oh, I brought a joint. He's like, oh, you should probably go a little further away then. It's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Dude.
And at the end of the...
Here I am thinking LA is the craziest.
No, dude, it's crazy. The trash can was overflowing with White Claws and High Noons and maybe a few like Bud Light seltzers, all seltzer drinks. And then everyone gets in 3-row SUVs and drives home. Like everyone gets in the biggest fucking cars you've ever seen and drives their families home. It's crazy.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. And then like they all like this like our generation, these like 40 to like 37 to 45 year olds in these suburban towns are like, they know every restaurant. Like they go to gastropubs with we asked our 8-year-old nephew, where do you want to have your birthday lunch? And he goes, can we go to, and he inserts like a bar. And it's just like, he's like, I love the chicken fingers there. And it's like, oh my God, my brother is going out drinking with like, where the kid, as a kid, my parents would just leave us home, you know, and now you're like, that's bad. But it's like, now it's like bars will have like, there's a fucking swing set. You know what I mean? Like breweries were like for beer snobs, and then they became for like families. Like they would just like, they would let like kids babysit each other in a weird way.
Oh, well, it's like the thing that I think is missing now, because we used to take our kid to like Golden Road because they had a kid section.
Right.
And they had plastic things. They took all the plastic things out, all the things to climb on, and just filled it with tables as a kind of we're over you. Parents. And it's like, I get it. Some of us are flagrant. Some of us let the kid run everywhere.
Some of us want to just get hammered and not see a kid.
I get that. I respect that. But like, I think you have to have that brewery or that wine. You can do the winery tasting thing, where you have that section, because they do that in like the Funk Zone in Santa Barbara, right? Where there's a restaurant, they serve beer and wine and like margaritas and stuff, and you get a sandwich. But over here is like a play area that's fenced off, and there's a childcare professional there. Oh, and I'm just like, I'm going to spend so much fucking money here because I'm so grateful you're here. Where it's like, that's a genius move, because like these are parents who have a little bit of money to play, and they want to do fun stuff. Yeah. And it's like, they don't want to go to like a bougie ass expensive place. They want to go someplace where they don't have to get childcare. Exactly. And that's like a fucking, that's genius. Yeah. I went to the Hermosillo in Highland Park, and it's like, there's just 11 guys with mustaches and a stroller drinking like fucking craft beers, kind of rocking a stroller like this. Yeah. I love the Hermosillo so fucking much, because I will take my daughter on a Sunday afternoon to get a soft serve at Magpies. Hell yeah. And then I'll get my ice cream. We'll go to Hermosillo and I'll have an IPA out there with my kid. A couple of
lager ice creams.
We'll sit there at the barrel, just like boys, and talk about like my kid once.
How old are they now?
She's 5. Oh. So like,
that's chatty.
She's turned 6 in August. And I never forget, I tell people this and they're like, you're full of shit. This sounds like something like an online dad said, where it's always those moms are like, my daughter said, she looked at me and said, Mommy, is Trump going to destroy the country for us? And it's like, and I had to tell him, sorry, son, but democracy's on the ballot this year. Yes, just like, this never
that did not happen.
Stop. Stop. Anything gaining followers through your child can fuck itself. Yeah. But my kid, we have the fridge where it has a little drawer in the middle. For the beers and the seltzers and the spritz, the what are they called? Those spindrifts and things like that, non-alcoholic. And And I got a couple athletics in there. I got a couple non-alcoholic beers. But like she just goes, she's just sitting there with me and she goes, do you want a beer? And I go, yeah. And she goes, I'm going to have a drink too. And she opens the drawer up and she gets a beer and for me and a juice box for her. And we just sat at the table together and it was just like this. It was the same vibe of us laughing about something really silly.
That's all.
But
I went to the beach. We go to Montauk every year and I was there with my nephews and he's like, Uncle Nani, that's what they call me. Uncle Nani, what are you drinking? And I go, oh, it's a seltzer. And it was like, I was drinking a LaCroix Pamplemousse. And I'm like, do you want to try it? He goes, no, seltzers are for grown-ups. And I was like, oh, not all seltzers. And I was like, oh, my brother doesn't drink non-alcoholic seltzer ever. So like, they didn't know
he's
that.
Never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, he's like, didn't know that there's like soda water.
Sparkling water makes it so you can't drive.
Right. He was blown away. And he's like, wait, for sure, for real? I'm like, there are two different types of seltzers. There are grown-up seltzers and there are everybody seltzers. And he's like, let me try. And he tried. He's like, and he's like, not a soda kid. And I'm like, yeah, there you go, bud.
Yeah.
Now you go.
My kid calls carbonated, she says it's spicy.
Yes.
Spicy water.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. The whole, and you go to any Reddit thread and I've done this when she was like, before I knew my spots.
Yeah.
You know, what's a good brewery to take a kid? Because I'm trying to be, you know, like cognizant of people that don't want kids around and they want their old timey brewery. And that's great.
Parents and dog owners could just do a little bit of research to be like,
that's all you got to do.
Yeah. And breweries also for us childless, single weird adults without pets and kids. We also have to be like, well, I shouldn't go to that brewery if I'm going to bitch about it.
Right. Well, and it's like and I understand it. The screaming kid on a plane, we all got to deal with.
Right.
The screaming kid, if my kid loses her shit at a brewery, we're going.
Right. It's
don't
like,
worry.
Yeah,
you don't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
I have a car right there. Yeah.
I have a car right there. If we're on a plane, I have a little parachute for him. Sorry, guys. Didn't know that.
I got some laudanum, put in a rag. Yeah. But like
So you went on Reddit.
Went on Reddit, and I just went to read, and someone asked the question, and 5 comments were like, once you stop being an alcoholic and raise your kid right, and all this stuff, just so fucking this way.
From non-parents.
I know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
I can do, and it's like, I'm sure I was that judgmental in my 20s of parents. If I was like at a drinking establishment that brought a kid, kid, you know.
Well,
but at the same time, I was stupid then.
Right. I was raised legitimately by like an intense alcoholic. So if I just see parents having like 3 beers and playing giant Jenga with their kid at the Blue Point Brewery, I've got 0 complaints.
Yeah.
I was like home alone pretending to sleep when my dad got home from the bar. You know what I mean? Like, like that's a different vibe. So if your kids are involved in it at all, like that seems like be like less of a problem.
Oh yeah. And you're having that time with them rather than escaping being a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like rather
than golfing for 6 hours with your buddies, coming home blasted and taking a nap. And
7 double gin and tonics. my buddy Justin said the same thing. He's like, my dad was like a hardcore, undeniable alcoholic. He's like, yeah, he had like nips in the car. You know, that's their thing in New England, the little airplane bottles, they call them nips. Yeah. They banned nips from Nantucket. Banned them. You as an adult, you can carry a firearm, baby. Right. Can't have.
You can have a dick so long you can suck it, but you cannot. I don't know much about Nantucket except for that.
Well, Nantucket is like a beautiful place. It's weird. I've never been Martha's Vineyard. I've played in Nantucket like 3 times, and it's gorgeous. But the whole thing of like the guy with the untucked dress shirt and the shorts and the boat shoes.
Yeah, the whale belt.
The reddest face you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Hammered drunk, passing out in the curb.
Sunglass tan line. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that vibe. Like I'm not like that. People like that stress me out. I like that vibe. But I missed out on all the northeastern beaches. Being from Long Island, I never went to Asbury, Jersey Shore. I didn't need to.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like removed from it, I'm like, man, a weekend in Nantucket sounds fun.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. And you just saying you did a show there. And I'm like, I don't pull Braunger numbers, but I'll lose money to. I'll charge it all to my.
I'll send you the guy's info.
Please,
he's great.
Please,
he likes a big variety, and he puts it up in like a little theater, movie theater.
I want that guy's info, and I want your acting coach's info.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. We go to. Our thing is, since the kid was born, we rent our friend's house on Cape Cod
fun.
in this little town, and they're older gay couple. And
Which one? West Dennis is where I hang
Dennis?
out. Yeah, I hang out in West Dennis like once a year too.
Really?
Yeah.
So you go to Chapin's?
I don't know about Chapin's. My buddies own they own a place called the Sandbar. Actually, they just sold it, so it's not in their family.
I've
anymore.
heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's over in the Lighthouse Inn area of West Dennis.
Okay, because we're on the bay side.
Okay, yeah,
up there near Mayflower Beach.
Yeah, oh, familiar. Mayflower is where I go to play beach botch at low tide, man.
Yeah, their house is blocks from Mayflower.
Oh yeah, they are on the south side of it.
It's the sickest thing because like they don't like being around on the 4th, and we'll go and just buy all the supplies and not leave their backyard.
That's the move. That's the move. You can't.
Well, any other day we'll go around, but it's like don't go out.
Yeah, don't get in your car.
One year, some kid on TikTok was like, "Mayflower, where's that, motherfuckers?" And like they packed it. They packed it to the point where the police cleared Mayflower Beach on the 4th.
Whoa!
And these kids were just every artery, every street, no sidewalks, screaming at all the houses. We're in the backyard like, oh my fucking God. And we're not on the main strip.
Right.
So we're safe. But they were just like, they're like, fuck you, rich fuckers. And it's just like, oh my God, dude.
The guys I go and hang out with there, they have such a system for the Mayflower where it's like they drive us to the beach with a bike in the car. Then they drive super far away to get like parking.
That's what you
do. And then they ride all the way back to the beach and join us. And then when it's time to leave, they're like, the one guy who's sober for, medical reasons, right. for government requested law enforcement reasons, he will ride his bike all the way back, get the car and come scoop us. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the parking lot fills up by 8 or 9 a.m. in the morning every day.
Yeah,
and then
on
there's
the
people
4th, it's nasty.
Driving around, and you can't park unless you are renting a house. You own a house there, and I'll get people. I don't even go out on the front door unless I'm leaving because someone will drive by. But like, listen, I'll pay you $100 to park in your driveway, and I'm like, I rent it. I can't do that. Yeah.
We
have thank God, we have strict instructions not to from our friends.
Because making $100 would not be bad. Mayflower. 2 major things I do at this beach with my friend group there is we play bocce ball on like when it's low tide because you can go play all the way out.
It goes so far.
Yeah. And then this is the first place I ever smoked spliffs because they were we don't want to make it smell like just weed. So that's I never smoked cigarettes growing up. But then when we go to Mayflower, I get like really excited about the tobacco. I'm like, I've never been that fucked up from a joint because it's like,
that extra
I'm like lighting. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, let's get another one of these bad boys. Yeah.
Well, dude, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey.
We're wrapping up. Is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. I have a shit ton of podcasts. So if you want to check them out, I have Staying Alive with Adam Pally, a health and wellness podcast that's free.
Awesome.
I have the Action Boys podcast, which we have literally 500-600 episodes of at this point.
Nice.
That's behind a paywall on Patreon, but you can get free episodes at free.actionboys.biz. Get a sniff, get addicted, and come on over.
There you go.
And then I have another podcast called Superstructure, which is like a political podcast I'm doing with my friend Julian, as sort of like the dumb mouth breather guy who's learning about American history and global history. It's very cool.
That's awesome.
It's very fun. It's very self-serving. I needed to learn this stuff. I wanted to learn this stuff.
It's good.
And now the only way you're going to get me to do anything is if I'm making my job.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'd rather listen to someone learn about history in real time and form their ideas and opinions organically than anybody taking me through their fucking fitness journey. I'm so tired of it. I know.
I do not want to hear. I know it's hard. You are wealthy and have a lot of free time. I cannot even compare to you. I'm up at 5. I have my 2 workouts a day. I eat this, I eat that. I'm like, I can't even afford this tank style.
All I did was cut out alcohol and cheese.
Yeah, it's like,
fuck yourself.
Not happening, brother. Well, Braunger, thanks for giving me an excuse to wear tank top.
There it is. There's the king. Thank you, Gabrus.